Scientists who have been studying coral reefs are so deeply concerned about the state of our reefs now that we're thinking about trying to help the reefs, not just standing by and studying their demise, but actually taking action. The REEFrame project is an effort to restore the coral reefs of Waikiki, which are among the most degraded in Hawaii.
He aloha ia no o Waikiki. Waikiki was once the breadbasket of this side of the island. Here, all the natural resources, water flowing into Waikiki, hence the name Waikiki, wai meaning fresh water. The fish was plentiful. My childhood days, that's what I would see, schools of fish. Well, now we don't see that anymore.
This is ultimately a community project. It's about restoring a community resource. We often don't necessarily think about it unless you might be a surfer or a diver, but all of us benefit from having a healthy coral reef here in Hawaii.
REEFrame started when Matt Campbell from Natrix and I met each other and realized that we had complementary expertise. He is an amazing marine engineer interested in building three-dimensional forms that resemble natural reefs, and my expertise is living coral reefs and the fish and animals that live on the reefs.
When he heard about our technology, he said, oh wow, we can recreate this foundational habitat. And so we put together this proposal and we called it REEFrame. And I think what's unique about what we're doing is we can actually create these holes, these pukas and ridges and everything that are more natural to a coral reef.
To me, the REEFrame team is one of the biggest strengths of the project. We have ocean engineering firms, we have academia, we have community organizations, we have the research science. We really have the right people to see this project through. It's been almost a year since it started, and that first year has all been about relationship building. And then we'll get into the design and the science part of the project, which is what we're entering in now.
I've been studying Waikiki's coral reefs since 2014. And over those years, we have done a feasibility project that shows that the REEFrame project will work, just scaling up the size of the concrete modules.
These structures, when they're combined into these clusters, will be very stable on the sea floor. We're here in Hawaii where the south swells can be huge. Well, we don't want that swell to damage the REEFrame nursery. Also, by building the structure so deep and so far away from the existing surf breaks, we won't have an impact on the surf.
A coral of opportunity is a coral that has been knocked loose from the substrate. So it's kind of just rolling around, sometimes in the sand. So one option we have for REEFrame is to collect corals of opportunity and reattach them to the modules that they could then continue to grow. This project just completely falls in line with our artificial reef goals for the state.
If the REEFrame project is successful, there will be large structures off the coast of Waikiki that are nurseries for corals. That is, coral pieces that have broken off, or perhaps maybe in the future, corals from a laboratory where they've been grown will be attached to these structures and allowed to grow to a point where we can then transplant them to parts of the reef where the corals are gone. Eventually, these structures will have enough naturally settling corals growing on them that they will become coral reefs in their own right.
We have a real opportunity in changing the way that we think about our natural resources. I think in the past we've said, oh, how do we conserve? How do we prevent damage? I think we can take it a step further now and say, no, how can we garden to propel into the future a restoration of these systems that maybe we saw pre-industrial, or maybe something that is completely new to our thinking.
When we talk about restoration, it's about, yes, the coral, the fish, and the marine ecosystems. But we view that aina, those resources, as part of our family. And our family in Waikiki needs help. If we do this correctly, our family will heal. And we know that it's going to have an impact on our people. And we can return as locals to Waikiki that was once abundant in many, many ways.
Not only was Waikiki the breadbasket of this part of the island, but our royal families lived here. Why is that important? Because these royals are what we call opoali'i, or servant leaders. They gave of themselves to take care of their people. My hope is that children of all ages will be able to enjoy the sea life here in Waikiki and understand that they are stewards of this ocean.
We welcome all hands, all voices, from Kupuna, Keiki, Kama'aina, Malahini visitors, all Kanaka, to come and help us, e hapai va'akako, to lift the canoe and help us move forward.